Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Live before a massive non-studio audience, driving in cars and sitting in homes all over the Puget Sound region of America, along with folks listening online everywhere. Welcome once again. It is an hour or maybe even two of some of the most exciting financial radio you will ever experience. It is Talking Real Money, the show.
You were that close to sincerity there for a moment.
I know. I almost sounded sincere for a minute.
I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody, buddy. I'm Don McDonald, and over there is Tom Cock. Well, over there. You know, it makes it sound like he's like right next to me.
Sounds
well,
like
he
it.
is.
Yeah.
There's a picture of him over there.
Yeah, I look good.
But it's a 3,000-mile away picture. Wow. Which is, you know, with COVID, who wants to be that close anyway?
Safe distance.
Oh, Lord. Don't get me started on COVID. But do get me started on the vast majority of the financial advice providing industry in America, most of whom we believe are, at best, irresponsible charlatans. At worst, I'm not even going to say what they are. And here's the thing. We hear from a lot of people. We do a radio show and a podcast. And one of the biggest things we hear is, well, I went to see my friend or my trusted financial advisor, my guy, my gal who says they're a fiduciary and they put me into, and whatever it is, it's always bad. I mean, it's almost always bad. Rarely do we hear tales of, oh my gosh, your advisor put you in great stuff. We really love that stuff. I'd like to hear more of that, not the other.
Indeed, we would. And the numbers, by the way, I think we've talked to like thousands of people this year, right? Between the calls, the email. Anyways, there's a lot of people. And some we get to spend more time with than others. And one this week was just really illustrative of the awful things this industry can do to people. So this gentleman is about 5 years from retirement, talking about a person I talked to earlier this week. And he's going to have a pretty good pension and pretty good Social Security benefit. And he heard about a firm. He went and saw them.
I bet he heard about them on the radio.
He did. Yeah, they're on the radio. They're fairly well known. And if you go to their website, which we took the liberty of doing today, they say right there.
I'm on it right now.
Don't they use the F word right there on the website?
Yeah, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 9-digit F word, not the other.
Yeah, fiduciary.
The fiduciary capacity. They say, quote, quote, acting in the client's best interest as a fiduciary. So what did they sell them?
Well, okay. Again, just keep in mind the whole thing they were solving.
They say they're a fiduciary.
Yeah, they're solving for retirement income. As many of you in your 50s and 60s, that's really what you want to know, right? Can I generate the money? Am I going to be okay? And in this case, this person's going to be fine. They've got a pension, Social Security, but they took this firm took this other about $350,000 and said, look, we'll guarantee this. This will be guaranteed. And then when you need to turn it on for income, you'll be in great shape because this product will be paying.
The G word.
Yeah, the G word. And so this is a big annuity, $350,000 annuity that generated about an 8.5% commission. I mean, you can do the math.
Is it an indexed annuity?
Yep, you can do the math. I mean, this is huge. And so, but here's the interesting part. When the conversation with this person was, well, you, Tom, you guys tell a great story. That's why I'm calling you. This person told a great story too. It all sounded good. It made sense. The product seemed to fit. So I went ahead and purchased it. Now, the person that purchased this product How many P's is that? He has decided he
Peter Piper picked a
doesn't
peck
want
of
to do
personal
it.
products.
Doesn't want to own it anymore for the previously stated reason that the amount in the portfolio has actually gone down in the last year. How that's even possible, I do not know.
How is that even possible?
I don't even know.
No way you can lose portfolio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it hasn't got the value of when you look at the assets, those have not gone up. That was his. Those are his words.
But and if they if they got it out, they're going to lose 10% of the surrender charge.
Yeah, well, 8.5. But anyway, the point of the matter is why? Why did you believe this person? Why did you trust this person? Well, because they said they were a fiduciary. They said they're going to put my interest first. But let's talk about this a little more, Don, because there's some fine points that people need to pay attention to.
Oh, please. 855-935-TALK is our phone number. If you're finding yourself looking at a product, call us first.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Is your portfolio a mess? You may have a case of hodgepodgeitis, but don't worry, we can help. Just set up a free, no-obligation meeting with a Vestory advisor at Vestory.com. No sales pitch, guaranteed. That's Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Welcome back to Fiduciary Follies. I'm Don McDonald, along with Tom Cock at 855-935-TALK. 855-935-8255. Yeah, Fiduciary Follies, because it is so funny. We've been doing this this particular podcast. This iteration since 2014. And back then, we would talk about fiduciaries, and nobody knew what a fiduciary was. The term was not in the vocabulary. It is now. Everybody claims to be, in the financial services industry, claims to be a fiduciary. And let me tell you, most of them are lying about always.
Thank you.
Being
Always. Thank you. Well, we were talking about this specific case where somebody went to them because they were told they're fiduciary, and then they get sold a product. And I looked at their website. Their website does say, yeah, we are a fiduciary, but we also have this insurance thing, which I don't understand how they can say both.
Well, the problem is it's going to have to go through a court somewhere. And I have to look. It may have, but the reality is the Department of Labor, when they were putting their new fiduciary rules in many years ago, in essence, they totally said that something like an indexed annuity was not a fiduciary product, that you could not sell an annuity inside a retirement plan and fulfill your duties as a fiduciary. So it's been made relatively clear that those do not fall under the fiduciary standard. And the key is, here's the differentiation, I believe. A fiduciary is required to act in your best interests. If your advice is determined or could possibly be swayed by a commission, by the receipt of a commission, then it no longer can be considered best interest because it's tainted advice.
Yeah, and think about the person that's in the chair that can either be the fiduciary or sell you the product. Now, just think it through. On a $350,000 annuity, 8% is like what, $27,000 or something?
It's $28,000. $28,000.
Or I could take that same $350,000 and manage it. It could take you
with a fee-only advisor,
many years to make that money.
It would take you about 7 years.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it creates this huge. Conflict of interest? Do I have enough to make the boat payment, or do I'm going to eat crackers? I mean, it really is conflicted advice. But your point when we discussed this pre-show was, it's easy to say this, but if I'm listening right now, how do I protect myself? What do I do to make sure that I'm getting conflict-free advice?
You're not going to like the answer because the answer requires that you, what did some people say? Put your big boy pants on?
Yeah, I don't know. We can say that anymore, but well, actually you can.
Big girl pants, big boy pants, big human pants. Put on your big human pants because you have to take this more seriously than you do. Right now, you think managing money is all about a relationship with a really nice person whom you know through a friend or a relative, and they would not possibly do you wrong.
Or you heard them on the radio.
Or you heard them
They're
on
nice
the radio.
people.
They're nice people.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people think that about, Don and Tom, nice people.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I would hope you would subject us to the same scrutiny that we want you to subject everyone else to.
Which is
because
what?
You need to be skeptical. Well, first off, put on your little skeptical cap.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Ooh, that's going to make next skeptical caps.
So you got the red hat. You got the
yeah. I'm going to do
I forget
a
the other
yellow
one.
skeptical hat.
Red.
Well, the red hat is merely suitable,
yeah.
and the green hat is best interest.
Best interest. That's right. Okay. So now you're going to have the skeptical skull hat.
Skeptical hat. Yeah, I like that.
Skull cap.
You got it. This is business. This is not
Thank
friendship.
Thank you. Yeah. Can it become a more personal relationship? Sure. But should it start with making a business decision about how they're going to charge me, the kind of work they do, how they manage money, what they believe? That should be at the beginning. Not that Tom's a good-looking fellow and speaks well. Well, that's a little bit of it. But
okay. Well,
there's a little bit of it.
I'm not going to tell you which half you're right on.
So, I mean, but which people do. They and I'll be honest, they come into our office. I love the show. I love you guys. Are funny. Blah, blah, I just want to hire you. Okay, that's nice. And we're
that's not a good reason.
No, it's not a good reason. So
that's not a good reason. No. Let me tell you what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. If you are or plan to or even currently have a financial advisor, if you're going to meet with one, talk to one, financial advice provider of any kind. First question. Ready? Take notes, unless you're driving.
Please don't.
You ready?
Yeah.
Are you always, that's the key word, required to act in my best interest? Always required to act as a fiduciary. Always. If they say yes, then you say, next question. Do you sell any products whatsoever that generate or provide a commission to you or your employees or your firm?
That should rule you out. That should rule them out. Yeah, I agree.
If they say they're not going to, most of them will say, the insurance guys, they're going to say no. They're going to say no because they don't want to disclose that commission. So they're going to, and this is going to be the first big lie. They're going to tell you the big lie. No. Well, then how do you get paid? Do you charge a fee, assets under management? No. The insurance company pays us. The company pays us. They pay us a fee to bring in business. Isn't that a commission? Well, no, not really, because you're not paying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now they've really lied to you, and now you need to leave because they've lied. Everybody in this industry gets paid one of two ways. One of two ways. They either charge you a very clear fee that is stated in advance, should be in a form called their ADV Part 2 brochure that you should at least read the fee section of.
Oh, yeah, and those are so easy to read. Plus the fact when it's sometimes...
The fee section's not terrible.
It sometimes says fees
can be.
Cannot exceed 3% a year. What? I read that today. I'm like, what does that mean? Anyway, okay.
Yeah, they do obfuscate in there.
Anyway.
But
fee only,
here's the clear
commissions,
yeah.
But there's other ways. People operate hourly. People do plans.
Right. But I mean a fee. You either charge somebody a fee or you get a commission for selling a product.
Fair enough.
It's one or the other. There is no third thing. They don't do it for free. I guarantee they don't do it for free. So if they don't tell you the truth in that first meeting, you need to leave. You need to walk away.
Fast.
You need to have the courage to walk away from these people. And if you want some help with that, go to talkingrealmoney.com and download the advisor interview form because it will do it for you.
And where is that form?
It'll make it easier. It's at talkingrealmoney.com/help.
Oh.
talkingrealmoney.com/help. You can also go in there and look up what a lot of these advisory firms charge. You know, it can be as Ameriprise in their ADV Part 2 shows their maximum fee at right about 3% per year.
But nothing more.
Yeah, it'll be less than that. That or less.
Folks, just the reason I'm giggling is 3% is outrageous in today's world. It's like a mutual fund that charges more than 1% today. Absolutely. They are living in a different universe than what's going on with the rest of the world. I'll put it that way.
Unless, of course, your mutual fund is in England.
Oh, gosh, yes, that's true. Yeah, okay.
We got a note from a guy on one of our YouTube videos that said, what we wouldn't give for 4 basis points on an ETF over here. They're paying 50 basis points on the same ETF.
Crazy.
855-935-TALK. Give us a call.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at Vestory.com, Vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
Money does indeed do that thing that they talk about in, cabaret? Money makes the world go around. It makes a happy sound when it makes the world go around.
I remember the fella who did that now. Who was that?
That was Joel Gray.
Yeah, his daughter, of course, did some movies later. Yeah, that's a great show.
So we're talking about money with you. And you can call us with your money questions at 855-935-8255 here on Talking Real Money. How many times can I say money in the course of an hour?
Money.
Well, I have not even begun to money.
Money up, dude.
I'm going to. Right. I'm going to ask a money question. This one was sent in, and boy, have a lot been sent in recently. Would you guys please speak some of these instead of typing them?
He's got a real thing about that. I don't know why.
You can go to talkingrealmoney.com, and if you have a mic on your computer, which most people have nowadays because of Zoom and all that stuff, you can speak it, and it actually sounds pretty good.
Well, it depends on the person doing the recording.
It depends. Yeah, I mean, if you see, I have a pop filter on
they don't
my
like
mic.
their voice. A lot of people don't.
Okay. All right. You ready for a question?
Please go ahead.
I hope you know something about this one. Actually, I do know something about it too. Are you all aware of the margin interest rates that one can supposedly find at M1 Finance? They're claiming it's as low as 2%. Is this credible? What are your general thoughts on M1 Finance? They seem very low fee, but I'm wary unless I understand how they make their money. P.S. Love your podcast. I'm a tax-focused CPA. I bought and read your book. Very good read. Also, I met with one of your advisors from Vestory recently and had a very positive experience.
That's good to hear. Back to but let's
talk about M1.
But I was going to say the margin thing first, but okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, go do the margin thing.
I am not a fan of borrowing to invest at any level. I'm just not. It accelerates things up, things down.
It adds risk.
Yeah, I don't know. I get it that some people think I think people like picking stocks. They think that's how you invest. You don't need to invest that way to end up with a healthy amount of savings. So I personally wouldn't do that. I don't know what they're charging now. I think Schwab's is still.
I do.
You looked it up?
I do.
What is it?
They charge 3.5.
And what is Schwab charging? I think it's more than that.
More than that.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 or something.
So this is money they're loaning you to buy stocks.
Right. Now, but their margin limit, they have a very strict margin limit of 35%. You can only borrow 35% of the value of your portfolio, which is more conservative than the law provides. But yes, you can get margin rates as low as 2% if you enroll in their M1 Plus program or something, I think is what it's called. It's $125 a year.
Oh, okay.
To be a member of this club, the M1 club.
And at M1, there's all kinds of different portfolies. Doesn't our friend Paul Merriman have a certain portfolio?
Well, he did.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still does.
I think he does.
He probably does.
Somebody told me about it lately.
But they're a low fee brokerage firm where you can do things like I do. I mean, I have an account at Schwab. Mm-hmm. And I don't. The only thing Schwab doesn't they do, but I wouldn't hire them to do it. They pre-build portfolios and do some robot portfolios, robo-advisor, and M1 does something very similar. But I have no problems with M1. And yes, they do lend money as low as 2%, but you got to pay them $125 a year
to be part of the program, to be able to borrow. I mean, 2% is cheap money.
Cheap money. That's very cheap money, and yeah.
No, I'm always a fan of and what do they charge for trades and all the rest of it? I mean, it's on the low end, right? Or zero, or
it's zero.
Okay, well, it's about as low as you can get.
Well, Schwab's zero.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much. Everybody is.
Everybody is. We've gone to zero. We've hit zero. It's a good thing they found other ways to make money, or the entire industry would be out of business.
I'm guessing they make money on the amount of cash sitting around, probably, or the loaning money out.
They make money on the cash, and then they make money on the getting paid for trades.
Oh, the order
like
flow,
like Robinhood did. Yeah, the order flow payments.
I wonder if that's going to be.
They get little chunks of change.
Something's going to come out on that.
That's going to have to be disclosed someday.
Yeah, well, or require those companies to take the best deal for their clients.
The difference in the industry between where it was when I started almost 40 years ago.
With the dinosaurs, yes, I got it.
With the dinosaurs. I mean, really, we still had mutual funds back then with 8.5% commissions. We would do a 100-share stock trade on a $10 stock for like $200. We paid a lot. You paid a lot back then.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
A second opinion could save your life either physically or fiscally. Let one of our Vestory advisors help you save your future at vestory.com, vestory.com.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on this pre-holiday weekend for a little education.
And we got bounced. We're not on next Saturday, are we?
We're not on next
You're
Saturday.
On next Saturday.
One of us is.
Feeling pretty special there, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Well, that's because I came up with an idea. I did. I came
Finally.
up with an idea.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be, I put together an hour of classic holiday Christmas stories I shared with you. From the litreading.com archives.
Which is really hard on the radio because you can't see your lips.
Lit.
Oh,
And
lit.
as a matter of fact,
Lit.
in the recording, I said that's lit reading, Tom, not lip reading.
Of course you did.
I actually said that.
Anyway.
I knew you'd be at home going, lip reading? What's lip?
So what
I can't
what
see
time
you.
are you actually on then next week?
I have no idea.
Okay. Anyway, but the program note, we will not be here next Saturday.
We will not be here next Saturday. Apparently, we're supposed to be here the Saturday after that, although I was not going. I was going to take a day off.
No, we got it. The first, come on, that's kind of a fun day.
Tom
I'll
wants
be here.
me
Well, I'll be here. I'll be here or
You
not.
won't be here by yourself.
I'll get Herb or Paul
You don't even know
or somebody.
you don't even know how to dial up the station.
That's true. I yell. It's just across the lake. It's not that far.
That's true. Hey, we're talking about your money, though. We're talking about how you can spend it better, save it better, invest it better, give Christmas gifts better and all that kind of stuff. And we hope you'll give us a call if you have a question at 855-935-TALK, just like Russell did. Hi, Russell. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
Good, Russell. How are you?
I'm fine. My question is, do total returns on a mutual fund include the cost of the mutual fund, the commissions and the expense ratios?
They include the expense ratios, not the commissions.
Not commissions. Not the commissions. No.
Expense ratio.
So if I have a no-load fund and an index fund, and the no-load fund charges me 0.4.
40 basis points.
Yeah.
percent, and the 40, and then the Vanguard fund I have charges 0.04. That's 10 times as much. But does that the total return?
The total return that you
actually
see
be-
reflected in the numbers is based on that deduction of those 40 basis points, the 0.4%.
Okay, so if I compare my S&P 500 to say Growth Fund of America, and the Growth Fund of America beats it, it actually beats the Vanguard fund and including
Correct.
the expense.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And Growth Fund of
told me that, and I
America,
thought that was
Growth Fund
crazy.
of America has beaten the index.
From
but remember,
time to time.
From time to time, Growth Fund of America is not the index, though. It is an actively managed portfolio that is much smaller than the index.
In terms of
a
the
more
number of
focused-
holdings?
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
no,
much
it
more
has.
focused
Yeah,
portfolio.
it probably has 100 holdings, I'm guessing. Nowhere near the 500. And they have several managers. I think they have 4 or 5 people that are actually managing
Yeah,
the
it's a
fund. It's a
team.
team approach, which I think is silly, but it is. Because if you're an active manager, you believe you got a really smart guy, then let that smart guy run, or woman, let that person run the fund instead of having 5 different teams. So no, there's been periods of time where that fund has outperformed. No question.
Yeah. Yeah. So you paid an upfront. Wait a minute. You're saying Growth Fund of America is 0.4%?
No, he said, I think it's like 75.
No, our 401k.
Oh, you get an institutional share, because the A shares, the expense ratio is 0.61, but in your 401 you're going to get it for less. Yeah, you're going to get it for a little less. But the portfolio, let me just look. I want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm betting it's 100 stocks, but I could be betting wrong.
No, it's 4. It's
400.
But what is the fund? Tesla.
Yeah. Let me guess.
Followed by Microsoft.
Maybe there's some Amazon in there?
Netflix is actually a bigger holding, which is surprising. Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, United Health, Broadcom. It looks a lot like it, but they overweight some stocks. Yeah. Like, for example, Netflix. They own more Netflix than the index. They've...
Okay, but they still have 20% fewer stocks.
Oh,
say it any way you like. It's still fewer, not as few as I thought.
Sure. And over 15 years, and this is where the rubber meets the real road. The longer term, over that period of time, they've dramatically underperformed the index.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com. Vestory.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
I'm Don McDonald here with Tom Cock, the jock. And he just sunk a basket with a wadded up ball of paper.
Like
and he thinks
good
he's
6-footer. It's a good 6-footer. No rim needed. Just straight, nothing but net there. Look good. Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't think you did anything spectacular, but you
in
cheered
my
for
little
yourself.
world, it is big news, baby.
Congratulations. 855-935-TALK. That is our telephone number here at Talking Real Money. And Kathy, it's your turn. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hey, Kathy. You're on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
Okay, I've got a quick question about something my sister told me the other day, that she's got a 401 account that she's had for years. She's retired now. She hasn't touched it. And she also has a IRA. I think it's a Roth IRA. Okay. I'm not sure. Anyway, she said she was going to cash in her 401, not cash it in, but she was going to put her 401 in the same pot as her IRA. But isn't one pre-tax and one's post-tax? Can they mix them?
Yeah,
without her paying the tax.
Well, a 401k could be either pre-tax or post-tax.
Yeah, right.
Could be a regular 401k.
If she has a pre-tax 401, she can't move that into a Roth without paying taxes on everything she moves into the Roth.
As like regular income tax.
Yeah.
So you might not want to do that abruptly.
Okay, so she would have to claim that on her.
Yeah, I mean, here's another strategy. She could do part of it. I mean, or you could move some to an IRA and some to a Roth.
Or she could just move it to an IRA in the same investments.
Yeah.
Use the same portfolio, just do it in a regular IRA instead of a Roth IRA. But if you move from a regular 401k regular IRA, you got to pay taxes.
Regular income tax rate.
Yeah. Good luck. Thanks for the call. 855-935-TALK is our phone number, 855-935-8255.
And the holiday season is here.
Yeah, you're looking for that hard to shop for person.
Apparently, most of America.
I'm just giving people money. I'm just handing out money this year. I'm just go to the bank and get bills. I'm going to get a big old wad of them and just throw them at people.
That's not what people want. 65% of the people, Don, 65%, according to the survey from Magnify Money. You know what they want? Mm-hmm. They don't want your cash.
Please.
They don't want your gifts.
They want toys?
They don't want your silly jokes.
They don't want gifts?
No, they want.
What do they want?
They want stocks and cryptocurrency, which is really hard to wrap up under the tree from what I'm told.
Yeah. Oh, well, then you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get a plastic bag and hold it up to my mouth like this and go and blow it all up and twist it and go, this is just exactly like cryptocurrency, except it really hasn't caught on yet. is my
65%.
people.
All I want for Christmas is my AMC stock. My AMC stock.
Stop. Okay. Just stop. Because Kurt has a question.
Okay.
Thank you, Kurt, for saving us from the bad song. Hi, Kurt. Welcome.
Welcome. Merry Christmas.
You too, sir.
Since you all aren't going to be here next week.
I'll be here.
Yeah, I had a question. You guys, earlier in the program, and you've mentioned this before, you advise a lot of Fidelity and Vanguard ETFs and index funds. How about their financial advisors? Now, I know they all work for commissions, and they are often eager to make sure that you get all your accounts in either the Vanguard or the Fidelity account, depending on who you're talking to. Mm-hmm. But generally speaking, would you advise someone going to a fiduciary representing one of those firms?
Well, here's the way I think you should look at it. Number one, you correctly point out that if you hire an advisor at Vanguard, by the way, they have fee-only advisors, so you don't have to pay commissions. So they are fiduciaries. And they don't charge very much. But yes, will they only use Vanguard products? Sure. If you go to Fidelity, they will only use Fidelity. There's no question. Number two, what we've seen, Kurt, is the experience is not as personal as if you work with a more local registered investment advisor. Doesn't mean you have to, but what we've seen is the experience is more personal that way. And oftentimes it's a little more, they drill a little deeper than they do from a national firm like a Fidelity or a Vanguard.
Yeah, now bear in mind, Vanguard's is kind of a bare bones offering. It's a much simpler offering than Fidelity's wealth management. The Fidelity wealth management platform is very, very, very similar to every other fiduciary registered investment advice firm out there. And here's the basics. One, their minimum, like most firms, is $250,000. That's ours, right? $250,000.
It is. Yes.
Yeah. Their fees, the lowest fee they charge is 0.5% for big accounts. The highest fee they charge is 1.5%,
which is spendy.
Which we think that's pretty expensive. And they have a fiduciary responsibility, which means if there is a better product outside of Fidelity, they would have technically an obligation to consider that product. But
I'd love to see where
unlikely.
that happened. Yeah,
that's unlikely because with index funds, Fidelities are massively competitive.
Yeah,
they really are.
I think it's more about the experience you want to get from your advisor rather than necessarily the usage of their own products. That's how I'd look at it. So,
does that help?
Somebody that you're comfortable with, and that
somebody who you feel like really is doing the
independent work too. I mean, that's another way to look at it. So, not to tout we are independent, right?
No,
well, we are.
Well, but there are a lot of independent.
No. I'm not saying not just us, but compared to Fidelity or Vanguard, where they are not independent, right? They're going to use their own products. We're going to use what we believe is the very, very best every day, and those things change, right? So, which we'll talk about next hour.
I would shop around. I would shop. I think Fidelity or Vanguard, they can be perfectly good for a lot of people,
sure.
and they have been. But I always think it's a good idea to shop around and ask those questions. You know, are you always a fiduciary? That kind of stuff. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate it. And Dave, you're next. Welcome to the show. Oh, Dave, never mind.
All I want for Christmas is my A.
No. Oh. Dave, call back. Dave, hurry, quick, call back.
Right.
Jane is there,
she
though.
Bailed
okay,
you out
Jane,
again.
we've got a couple minutes. Hi, Jane. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Glad to do it.
I've heard you guys talk about I-bonds, and I wanted to get some, but I was wondering, can I have my broker put those in either my Roth or my regular IRA?
No.
I have to do it myself.
You have to do it yourself, but
it's easy.
Boy, is it easy.
Yeah. Well,
you go to treasurydirect.gov.
treasurydirect.gov.
And you go get the I-bonds, maximum of $10,000 worth a year. You just connect a bank account. They put them into your Treasury Direct account. That's the only place they can be held is in a Treasury Direct account.
And they're still they still paying 7?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're paying 7.1.
Yeah, I mean,
right now.
Not a lot of places you can get. Well, we'll talk about this later. Not a lot of places you can get a safe 7%. Well, I'll say almost none.
But bear in mind, the money's locked up, and you don't know what the future rate will be because it changes every 6 months.
Every 6 months. So that's an issue. But we're talking about Christmas gifts. That wouldn't be a bad gift, but you couldn't give it away. It'd still be in your name.
It'd have to. Yeah. Well, or you could just give somebody the money to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or set it.
And in all joking aside, and thank you, Jane, for the call.
What?
About the gift thing. I won't sing the song anymore, okay? I get that.
Please don't.
But we do like 529s during the holidays. I'm doing those for my grandkids.
I'm doing those.
Yeah, I think those make sense. Stuff like that rather than giving meme stocks and cryptocurrency. Not so great.
Oh, please. Yeah, give somebody something that's maybe going to do something in the future.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Tom and I created Vestory to help everyone become a better investor, even those who will never be clients. Let one of our advisors help you start your financial plan or solve a money problem free with no obligation or high-pressure sales pitch at Vestory.com. Vestory.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
What you spend most of your time planning for financially is retirement, either getting there or managing your money to maintain the income you need while you're there. Lifestyle decisions, all kinds of stuff comes up when we talk about retirement, which is why we have Retire Meet.
In person or virtually, February 26th, we'll be at the Maidenbower in Belt. Yes, we'll be socially distanced. Yes, you'll have to be vaccinated. Yes, you'll have to wear a mask, but you can still eat your great sandwich. And you get to hear from some terrific speakers, Don, myself, Rick Gregrick, Herb Weisbaum. You get the idea here. Some terrific people to help you with all the topics you need to know at retiremeet.com. Get the tickets because we're only going to limit the number of people that can show up.
Retiremeat.com works too. Can I just wear like that guy on the plane, just wear underwear over my face or something? No.
That's not underwear, by the way.
Did you see the guy on the plane with oh my gosh.
Gross.
Go to retiremeat spelled either way.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for informational, educational, and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future, so past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Appella Capital, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?